back. What a fantastic week. What a fantastic weekend. What's up, brother?
Hey, man, dude. Hey, we're live.
Yeah, we are.
Restream is up.
Hopefully, no technical
Restream is
difficulties
up. Can we
today.
get a little? Let's get a little. Oh, you want to go with the other one?
Yeah, let's get a little cheers here.
Let's go with the old brisket review beer here.
Yeah, we're gonna start right into grabbing the brisket beer review.
What? Are we?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, yeah. We just did it. That's how we do it, guys. We're in. We're out. This is a really good beer you brought, James. I think it smells good. Okay, that's great. Oh, okay. Damn. No, man, it's a great week. We were a little bit off last week. We had some technical difficulties. Restream, which is a platform that we use, was obviously down. And there's nothing we can do about that.
We had Meathead Goldwyn on.
Meathead, the
barbecue
man,
Hall of Famer.
Yeah. We just fell flat on our faces.
Just couldn't get our shit together.
I think that's what do you call that? What can happen will happen at the worst possible time. Well, guess what? It happened. And we're not sad. We're not going to dwell in it. We just deleted that shit. God said never happened. We just packed our stuff up, went home, and waited for Restream to get their shit together. So I'm glad that we're back on roll. Thank you so much for chewing their ass out. Definitely appreciate it.
Hey, we got some free months, man.
Did we?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about. This is how you do it. You have a problem, you take it straight to the source, and you essentially cause such a ruckus that they have no choice but to say, look, man, we're going to give you free months. We're going to give you some fajita platter sent to your house. James, this works for you.
I know it does. If you blast them on social medias, you can only imagine the free shit that you get. You just like ask for the manager, right? I mean, that's the go-to.
Nobody wants to do it in person.
No.
But you want to be a keyboard warrior and go home?
Yeah,
hell
but you
yeah.
got to be really passive aggressive when you do this. You can't just come off straight like an asshole. You have to come off just like, yeah, I'm angry and perturbed, and I'm going to throw a couple of zingers your way.
Yeah. Do you know who I am?
You need to make it right.
You say that, James? Do you know who I am?
No.
Okay.
I don't pull that card off. You know?
Okay. Well, it's good. Good for you. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that kind of rhetoric from you, James. We're not
gonna happen.
No. Okay. There it is, man. Hey, this is a blessed week. Finally, we get to be here without John. John he's just kind of weighing us down all the time. He's like, oh, did you get your stuff? Did you read your thing? I put an outline out. No, John, we don't read. Okay. We talk. This is what we do. We cook, we talk about it. There's nothing to read. So I'm glad that he's out living his damn best life, living in, he might as well be Mexican by now. He goes to Mexico so many damn times. So
fun in the sun, Cabo. I guess that's where he's at, Cabo or something like that.
He's got dual citizenship now. He's living his best life. I want to live like John, and I don't know how to do that.
Hey, I blocked him on the text messages.
Did you?
Yeah, man. I'm tired of receiving his good life pictures.
Yeah, and I know it's sickening. It was 29 degrees this morning, and he sends a picture. It was like 80 degrees sunny. I'm like, who gives you the right to do that to us? Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not putting up with it.
All right, we're not going to dwell this whole episode on John just living his best life. Hey, cheers, John. We miss you.
We do miss you, John.
Man, so we didn't get to some of the cooking I did last week, but I know we'll pop some pictures up here in a little bit. So I've been practicing. I've been trying to do brisket, been trying to do ribs, just getting back into the flow of competition and cooking, and trying out some of these like badass seasonings that some of these teams are putting out there, like chicken fried barbecue and LC barbecue, top quality, phenomenal products. So we threw some stuff down to, I think I did a brisket about a week ago, whatever. I went and saw my buddy Perry Brooks over there at Stone Cold Meats, dude. He was very badass, like showing me around all the different stuff, all different cuts and meats that they had there. And so I picked up, this is pretty cool right here. This is I did not get it this time, but this is highly recommended. Anybody that wants to do some fajita meats or do some fajitas at the house, that Wagyu sirloin flap, dude, that was killer.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. Those guys are always putting out, and that's what I like about those guys. They're obviously quality is what they go for. This is not the Kroger's meat department, and I'm not throwing shade on Kroger's, but they just can't do this. This is locally sourced. They're bringing in some of the best. They really have a quality control that they adhere to, which is what their patrons want, right? So you go inside, and they're always get some cool sausages, great meats, They're housing some of the pit masters and
Mhm.
local guys seasonings. So they're easy to talk to, and it's like if you don't know, like, hey, I don't know how to do this or whatever else, they're there to help you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I love going in that place.
Yeah, if you're in the League City area, the Houston, Webster, just surrounding areas, go check that out. I've already recommended to everybody at work and anybody that I just run across, like on the street or something. Like, hey, do you know about Stone Cold Meats? No, okay, go check them out. You know what I mean?
Is that what you do?
Right.
You just
Just hand out
stop
card.
random people.
Right.
Yeah, they don't know I'm doing this, but
Yeah.
hey, excuse me, sir. You ever heard of Stone Cold? Well, you should.
Yeah, I
That's
just
great,
go in
man.
like in
Yeah.
HEB. The guy's like pilfering around looking at these like shitty ass ribs or
Right.
whatever.
Whoa,
I just
wait,
knock it
you
out of
throwing
his
shade at
hands.
HEB?
God. Well, not the HEB high quality, all natural ribs. Those are pretty bomb.
Yeah, they are. Listen, we're not throwing shade at HEB. You want to throw shade? You pick an Albertsons, James.
Kroger's,
Yeah.
Randall's.
Yeah, you pick somebody else,
All
man.
right.
Don't come at us like that. This is not good. This is not good radio,
That
man.
brisket turned out pretty good. I used the chicken fried brisket wrap, and it's phenomenal. I mean,
Man,
everybody out there, you go try it yourself. Actually, don't try it at all because I'm actually having a hard time of sourcing that stuff because it looks like it's pretty popular and looks like everybody out there is using it. So
yeah, and just to go one step further right here, this is something that Bill has put his name on.
mhm.
This is a product that he was using that the company reached out and said, "Hey, listen, this is a line that we're not really going to want to continue with." And so Bill purchased this line, and it's his. This is packaged under his name, and how they were using it is not the way Bill uses this. This is a true brisket wrap, and it's phenomenal. It's not like a beef consomme. It's not like a just something you're going to throw into your pan for a brisket to give a little extra beefiness. It's got a lot of flavor to it. I know he puts a little butter in there, and just essentially lets this thing just kind of it's not broil, but it's how would you call it? What would you call that? Because it goes in the wrap, right? And so he pans it.
Yeah, you're
Um,
essentially, I mean, braising the
braising, right?
brisket. Yeah.
But you're braising at a low temperature, and that's the thing because we're not cooking it, you know, at 350 degrees or anything else. So you want to wait, and a lot of times when you're cooking these briskets, we're pushing these things past 170, 175. So it's past the stall, so you're not having to go through the stall sitting in that braise.
Mhm.
And that to me helps not wash out your seasoning. It doesn't wash out your bark, and to where it looks all grayed out or whatever else. Yeah, that's phenomenal. And the cuts you put off. Now, I don't know if the brisket was the greatest brisket you cooked, James. It's not because
It was overcooked.
yeah, it was overcooked. And I don't want to throw it out there
It
like that.
was fall apart, but look, honestly, a lot of people in my household and a lot of people they like brisket that does fall apart. It does not need teeth to eat, so to speak. But it
Yeah.
was not dry.
No. That I was just going to say that it was not a dry brisket. It was a little bit leaner on some of the flat sides that obviously if we're doing a competition brisket, what that would have looked like,
Mhm.
doing a Snake River Farms or an RC Ranch, something that has a lot more marbling in it, that thing would have held together a lot more. You wouldn't have seen. See, if you look at the picture right there, it's got a little more of a separation there, and a lot of times that's where that interconnecting fat would have been to help just kind of maintain
Mhm.
that. But yes, man, you're exactly. It was tender. It was phenomenal, and that brisket wrap really does help. Just add a little extra pop to it, man. I mean,
Yeah. And
yeah,
shout out to Aaron Leslie of Texas Old Seasonings as well, because I used his jacked phosphate seasoning in my injection. So I
yeah.
think that really helped keep it a little bit more juicier than what it was.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people don't even talk about. You hear the word phosphates, you hear, people put this in their seasonings or put this in whatever, but essentially what that is it's just allowing the brisket itself to when it's sitting in its juices or whatever else, but to really retain a lot of moisture.
Hmm.
And then this, I mean, I don't necessarily if it's just swelling up, but
Right.
what you're injecting in there, it just really helps sink it and stay in the meat. I don't know if it's like a reverse osmosis or if it's a
There's science involved.
yeah, there is, and we don't know all of the science behind it.
Right. I do know that if you pre-mix your phosphates, your injections, whether you're using a brisket injection or chicken or pork, if you pre-mix in a liquid, it does lose its potency over a certain amount of time. So I know these competition cooks, and then we do ourselves. Like you probably make your injections up Thursday, and then you're injecting your meats on Friday. If you mix it up on Wednesday or Tuesday, they say that you can lose the
little potency.
potency of that phosphate of retaining moisture. It's some molecule retention, osmosis.
You should use words aspirating and dilution. It's the dilution of compounds.
There it is.
We don't know. We don't know. We know what we like. We know that when we use it and we do it correctly, it works. It's not saying that you can't mix your phosphates that morning or mix your injections that morning and use it then. A lot of times guys want to pre-plan and they want to cut down how much work they're going to do on the site itself. Obviously you can't season anything. You can't really treat really anything. But mixing your injections, anything you do ahead of time before you get to site just cuts down on the work you have. But again, it doesn't say you can't. You're more than welcome to do all that the night before or that morning before you go to inject. Now we do like to inject the night before. I think it just helps just solidify that right there. But again, you could inject and have 4 hours sitting there before you throw on. So
yeah, we got Doodle Q Corby Simpkins in the house. Question for the people out there: can you use too much phosphates in your injections? That's one that I haven't Googled it and seen or whatever. I know everybody puts their certain amount of that they put in there, but can you do too much?
I don't know, man.
What will that do to the meat?
Hey, we got John. John jumped on here, said, "What's up, boys? You got Pit Life Barbecue catching up. And they're here, and everybody just saying what's up,
man. You know what? Hey, happy Thursday. I'm gonna see one more time. Just cheers. Get a big cheers up, man. We got a glass of this. Let's get really. Hey, James, is this the grabbing the brisket beer review? That's right, man. We got the I Am McLovin, the hazy IPA, 10% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, let's get a little picture of that.
This is money, man. This is a money little can, dude. So yeah, this is a good beer. Let's get cheers right here, quick, James. Let's get a big old cheers. Oh yeah. Hey, cheers, fellas.
Yeah, I saw this. This is kind of I came across Martin House Brewery's Instagram page this week. It looks like they won a couple of medals at a brewing competition.
They're
so
like
shout
us.
out to all those gentlemen over there. I think it was let me pull it up here, Jan. You go ahead and just run a little talk.
They're winning awards, just like grabbing the brisket is winning awards. This is what we do. And we have loved Martin House from some of the first beers we started doing this podcast. Had a chance to tour their facility a couple of times, hang out with those guys. Hell, we were I think at one point we're shotgunning beers on the production floor. So I mean, those guys like the mad scientists behind beer. Yeah, I know.
These guys had like 20 buckets of Fireballs just stacked up, and they were empty.
Yeah, right.
And I think they had a fridge that was just dedicated to nothing but Fireball. So I was like, hey, man, kudos to you. I mean, this is what you guys like.
They're alcoholics.
I respect it.
They have a drinking problem, right?
Well, I think we all do have a drinking problem.
They're in rehab, so in and out.
Cheers, fellas.
Backsliders.
Looks like the Tropical Nuke Juice won gold. I have not tried that one. And the Imperial Texan won silver. I've tried that one. That was pretty badass.
Nice. Hey, congrats, guys.
So we got Rob Arocha from the So Smoking Gooder Show coming up here in a minute. Also, Bullhorn Barbecue. This guy is a pit master, a grand champion, a phenomenal host on a podcast. There's not really much this guy can't do. So really, and friend of the show, always great to have him on. Can't wait to pick his brain on competitions and what's coming up. I know we got the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo coming up here in a few minutes with the world championship barbecue competition. And you hear that thrown around a lot, like world champion, world
Yeah.
champion.
Yep.
Like every competition says world
Well, you get
champion.
the World Series,
Right.
right? It's Kansas City, and then you get Houston. It's the World Champions. Memphis in May. You have the Jack, but I don't. Are those? Do they call those the World?
I don't know. Maybe they call them the
Because
world champions. I don't know.
I think it's like just the Jack, right? You win the Jack, it's like everybody knows what you're talking
Yeah.
about, right? Had just won Memphis.
Mhm.
Boom. That's everybody knows what that means, right? And it is a world. I mean, yeah, I could see that, but there's nothing like Houston.
Yeah.
We've traveled. We're cultured people. Okay, we've seen the barbecue circuit, and Houston is just a different animal you got to go through, and it's such a corporate event. I think that's what separates Houston away from some of these other, and I know there's corporations and everything else, but Houston, this is oil and gas country, and man, these
Mhm.
guys are putting on, 25, I'm sorry, 250, $300,000 booths, and that's crazy to me. It's it's a little too much in some ways. I think they said close to 250 to 300,000 people a night are
Mhm.
showing up to the barbecue event.
Yeah.
So that's on a Friday night, and then Saturday they're going to do the whole thing, and Thursday night they had the sponsor night. So
Yeah.
they made it had 150 people, 1,000 people there. It's insane
It's
of
not
what
for the
happens.
rookies. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
You go in thinking that you can handle Houston barbecue cook off, and it is a whole new ball game. And I think it's just the personally, it's like nobody thinks, well, everybody thinks they can drink as much as they want. You know what I
No,
mean?
I don't know
It's
about
all
that.
free. You know what I mean? So
What?
it's like, well, you get into these tents, and
Yeah.
you may have to get an armband to get in, but I paid $100 to get an armband. I'm gonna get my money's worth as far as
Oh,
like,
I'm doing 20 deep.
yeah,
Give me those shots. Give me yeah,
right.
right.
And so I do a lot of people watching because I'm out there volunteering for the Houston Livestock Show and
Okay.
Rodeo,
Yeah.
just
Thank
keeping the
you.
beer cold, just doing the Lord's work, and just help raising money for the children. But it's also very entertaining watching these people about 9:30, 10 o'clock stumbling around like, bro, man, we got to get you an Uber, man. We got to
Yeah.
get you a safe home.
That's
Like,
9:30 in the morning,
right.
guys. Hey, listen, you're not gonna make the cook-off
Yeah.
today.
And you could tell because it's always like, the guys are wearing the super like, like boots they've never worn before.
They got the Tacovas on.
Right. They've
Yeah.
worn them once. They're not broken in. And then
Their feet
they
hurt.
had to walk this like 10-mile gauntlet
Yeah.
just trying to get to their booth. So yeah, they're hobbling a little bit. They're chasing the pain away with some beers. Man, it's a fun time. I'm excited. This thing's coming around the corner. I don't. We'll get a chance to talk with Rob here in a minute. I don't know if he's competing. I think maybe he is. Caught his show last week. He had a couple of like really good guys on there with Dennis Butterworth
Oh,
and all those guys that they just rake it in, just kill it. So we're trying to get up on that level. So super excited to have Rob on. Man, this is great beer.
it is a great beer. No, you're exactly right. And so so we're not competing at Houston. We couldn't win to get in, and nobody, no corporate sponsor asked us to help them drink their beer and cook their meats for them. So we'll be out there. And James is volunteering. We have to hear about that 40 million times all throughout the year how he volunteers. So this is just his time to shine, which is fine. And listen, you do it well. But yeah, and then right around the corner, right past this, we have our Austin Rodeo coming up, which to me is one of the best cook-offs for competition and for just overall just people getting out and getting in the mix. And it's very similar to Houston, with the exception that every booth is open to the public, and that's something that I wish Houston could go to. I see why they can't,
Right.
because it's surrounded by 7 million maniacs that just, would just ruin it the first night. So I do like Austin, and that's what we're really gearing up for right now. We're really looking to show out and really compete and come home with a trophy with that one. We've taken all the master classes we can take between now and then. YouTube, we've picked the brains of some of the best pit masters all year long. They don't think we're taking notes. Hey, we're taking notes, guys. So it's on.
Let's get into a little bit of this barbecue news.
Yeah.
I
What you got?
apologize.
Oh,
know.
you want to do it again?
The tricked
Okay.
trick roll. He wasn't ready for it.
There it
I
is.
guess I just don't have John's cadence down, his nuances. So
Well, he tells me if I don't get it right, I'm not getting paid.
Okay.
So I got to be on it with him.
Damn. Okay.
Shoo. All right. First on the deck, we got the Barbecue News Magazine 2025 Sauce of Honors. This thing is now open for submissions.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Jesus, dude.
I was trying to expand. Usually John has the little sheets that we can sit there and read off of, but we have to be professional here. So there's a lot of information. I think Rawls got a image of the flyer. We'll post it up there, and we'll also post a link to how to sign up for it. So we'll get you covered on that particular place. But if you have a barbecue sauce, go ahead and reach out and submit your sauce. I mean, guys, if you think you have the best sauce, let's prove it. Let put your money where your mouth is. Let's go.
Yeah, and again, that's what the MBBQA, right, James?
Correct.
Yeah. So those
And the
guys
Barbecue News Magazine.
and the barbecue, those guys are all they're doing is just promoting barbecue restaurants, barbecue pit masters, barbecue seasonings. If you've got a business in barbecue, I implore you to join and network with these guys because they're there just to help you succeed. They're there to help you shake hands with somebody else, a sauce manufacturer, a seasoning manufacturer, a marketing director. You name it, those guys have it. Kel and Janet are amazing people, and that's what this is about. But this is also a way just to kind of, hey, put your stuff out there and go head to head with the Mark Lamberts in the world. Go to head with the Aces Wild and the Boars Night Out. So I definitely implore you guys to, if you're out there and you're wanting to just test what you have, you don't have to have it professionally manufactured. You don't have to have it professionally bottled. Obviously you want to be food safe or whatever else, but send it in, give it a shot, man. Who knows?
All right. So the goal to find and promote the best barbecue sauces that accompany the particular proteins: chicken, pork, beef, seafood. Looks like first place gets $300 custom plaque, $750 in advertising and contract or 1 year membership with the MBBQA. Second place winners get $200. Looks like the overall winner gets $500 and a plaque, and along with the advertising contract with the Barbecue News Magazine and or a membership with the MBBQA. So this is pretty solid.
That's right, man. That's right. Also, we've got the Junior Pit Masters. Get ready to shine. The Memphis and May Junior Barbecue Cook-Off Contest is firing up on May 15th to 16th at Liberty Park, giving young pit masters ages 9 through 17 a chance to showcase their skills. Competitors will battle out for 4 categories: pork chop, ribeye, steak, chicken leg, or slash thighs, and dessert. Entry fee is $500, and the registration deadline is March 15th. It says, or until all spots are filled. With the cash prizes and golden ticket to the World Food Championship on the line. It's a great opportunity for the next generation of barbecue champions to set up, to step up to the smoker. This is new for Memphis, and we were out with at the Shed Barbecue, and we had a moment to really sit down with the guys and actually got unveiled there, right? So it's where he said, "Hey, listen, we've seen this, we've seen the need for it." And this is the first time Memphis and May is actually allowing a junior competition, and I think it's phenomenal. This is exactly where barbecue needs to be. Is promoting the next generation of pit masters coming through, and a lot of these kids, man, they become successful in barbecue, and they're dreading the age out, right? Because they're killing it against their peers, but they're so worried about competing against somebody older than them. And guess what, man? It's like winning is winning, and when you got a winning combination down, a winning seasoning, a winning method, and you're just on it. It doesn't matter who you're going against. And so we were able to see that at the Shed, where kids were coming in that just aged out 18 or 19 years old. And man, they've been competing for 6-7 years. They're winning,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the part I love. I really hope I can get down here to Memphis for this competition. just to check it out. Hopefully if we're there, man, I'm trying to go on the main stage. I'm gonna get up there and just shoot some photography and some videos and just show out a little bit. So
Yeah. Also, simultaneously, we do have a World Junior Barbecue League that heats up at the Smoke Slam 2025. Get ready for some rising stars in the barbecue world. The World Junior Barbecue League, founded by barbecue legend Melissa Cookston, is giving young pitmasters a shot at the glory at Smoke Slam Barbecue Festival. Is happening, like I said, around the same time, May 15th to the 17th, with $25,000 in prize money on the line for
damn,
these young competitors. So they'll go head to head with chicken, ribs, pork, in a brisket category. Grand champion takes home $5,000. Come on, let's go. And it's free to enter. Let's go.
what'd you say? It's
It's
free
free.
to. How old do you got to be?
I think they're 46.
What?
47. No, I'm
For-
just kidding.
yeah. Hey, I'm about to enter a kid up,
Yeah.
man. Like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. So if you think you have what it takes, sign up right now. I think it's worldjuniorbarbecueleague.com. Man, let's go. Let's see who brings the smoke.
Yeah, no shit, man. That's amazing. Yeah, I think that's the future of Q right there. Is you've seen this already in the smaller cook-offs where not smaller, but I think you're seeing it more and more in smaller scale downs cook-offs. But this is something that was started a lot with I think the Houston barbecue led this for many years. And I could be mistaken, but I know they've had a kids queue out there for quite a few years now, right?
For a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't always had it, but I think
Right.
over the last like 2 to 3 years, they've really, really done a phenomenal job doing that. So yeah, kudos to all them. I wish all the kids best of luck. We got one more little barbecue news before we bounce out and get to Rob Arocha. Looks like there is a new home for the Steak World Championship. Looks like Will Rogers Center was the past home for the last 5 to 6 years. Now it is going to be at the Texas Motor Speedway.
Dude, that's awesome. That's cool. That's cool. Hey, just really quick, all of this is brought to you by we have to read a couple of ads. This is the one that's near and dear for us because also we do get financed, right? This does pay us a little bit here. But today's episode is brought to you by Chicks That Smoke, a spicy barbecue seasoning, our favorite versatile seasoning that elevates your any dish, from smoked meats to roasted veggies, even popcorn. Whether you're grilling, smoking, or cooking in the kitchen, Chicks That Smoke will kick up the flavor. Hey, check it out. It's SUCKLEBUSTERS.com. You can support a small man child with one bottle,
purchase.
one purchase, 60 cents a day. It keeps the beer coming.
It's
Okay,
a nice all-purpose rub that's got a little kick to it.
that's right. That is right, dude. Oh my God. You know,
Man,
hey,
this
can
is
I?
usually where John just
I
steps
know.
in.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
I made the biggest mistake. I know we have Rob coming up. I've been talking about a week already, about this week. Last week I talked about this week, and I was supposed to be traveling, and I had just at work. I was like, hey, listen, next week I'm out. I've got to go to North Carolina, blah blah blah, and I'm just talking about things I have to do, and so I made my arrangements. I'm trying to handle everything at work because when you're out of work, you want to make sure everything's done, and so that way it doesn't pile up on you. And man, I bought the plane tickets. I'm like in an Uber and I'm driving to the airport and I'm on a Teams meeting and somebody's like, "Hey, are you near your computer?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm in an Uber. I'm headed to the airport." And
Yeah,
they're like,
fixing to go conduct some business.
"Yeah, hey, don't question me, right?" And here's the deal, man, dude. I'm sitting in this meeting and it ends, and finally somebody goes, well, that meeting you have, is there another meeting next week?" And I was like, "No." There's no meeting next, like it's like tomorrow. And then they're like, it's on the calendar for next week. And I was like, what? Dude, I moved the entire timetable up a week. I literally bought tickets to go out of town, this freaking walk this facility and everything else. And I'm a week early, man. I was like, I'm not even at work. Like it's Monday. Everybody's at work. Like, where the hell are you? And I'm like, I'm going to the airport. I'm fine.
Right.
I'm flying out. You can drink at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's okay. Yeah,
Could
it
you just
wasn't
like
okay.
snake to like a free vacation, like to North Carolina?
Listen, you do what you got to do. No, I didn't snake it. I didn't go anywhere. I had to go to the airport, turn around, and cancel my flight.
Classic
And
Jan.
I know it's such a bush league move. It's in the devil's in the details. You know, you got to pay attention. I obviously was so excited about just getting out and some new opportunities and some new customers, and I really wanted to be this week. It's next week, so there it is. But it's a rookie mistake. I had to come back to work. I didn't even go back to work that day. I just like, you know what? I'm calling it a day. I'm done with this. So Tuesday I showed up. He was like, my boss, like, what happened? I was like, dude, I don't even want to get into this. This wash it out. It's no big deal. Sorry, my bad. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Pit Life Barbecue. Looks like they're all signed up for the CBA New England Triple Crown.
Oh, come
That
on,
sounds
man.
phenomenal. I'm not really sure what the Triple Crown is, but man, let's go. That's pretty badass. And looks like apparently Rob is a IPA fan, so we're gonna find out about that too as well.
Come on.
Hey guys, and Michael said he'll be in Houston next Thursday. Hopes to see you.
Look us up. We're gonna be out there just running around, sticking our cameras and microphones in front of everybody's face. Really Saturday morning, all throughout the day. So we'll be out there doing our thing. So if you are at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and you're competing, or maybe you own and operate just a multi-million-dollar team that you just want to invite us to come hang out,
Yeah.
we are going to go show up, see if we can get a hold of Randy Polly with the Holy Cow Cookers. We ran into him at the Shed Barbecue. Super nice guy, very, very, very personable. And I can't wait to go up there, and we're gonna have to hit it like really early because that Holy Cow Cookers, man, they get packed. I mean, they have probably one of the largest spots, and I think they've been there for, I think this is their 30th year
Damn.
out there. So, and I know they do a lot of work for the community. So, congratulations to all those people out there. Hopefully, we can slide by and get a little breakfast. I think he said he might have a little breakfast for us. So,
Come on. Yeah.
go.
So yeah, so you'll be out there what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then closing it down because that thing has to be a parking lot by Sunday, so they can start gearing up for the actual rodeo portion of this thing.
Damn, dude, that's a gauntlet.
It
That
is.
is such a gauntlet. You know, I feel like you volunteer, and since we're brothers, I feel like I volunteer. So yeah, I plan on being out there as well, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and no,
Yeah.
not Sunday. So.
I will be in the Miller Lite garden area where they have the concerts. I'm in one of the beer tents. So if you are out and about and you're listening to one of the concerts, come by and see me.
Nice. Nice. Who is this? Pit Life Barbecue says we got 7 barbecue contests up here this year for the CBA. Triple Crown is in Vermont, Rhode Island, and New Hampshire. Come
Okay.
on, dude. That's sick. We got to go there. I listen, not now because the temperature's got to be horrendous. It's going to be so cold. It was 29 degrees here. And I was talking to a guy from Chicago this morning, and I made a comment. I was like, look, I said, hey, I know it's, you know, our temperature is probably close to the same. It's 29 here. And he goes, it's 6. And I go, oh, it's 6 degrees. Never mind. We're not the same. So
do you think they're, I mean, obviously they're accustomed to the coldness.
they're not. Nobody's accustomed to 6, James.
I know nobody's accustomed to 6 degrees because nobody can get, but if they gradually get to like 6, maybe they're like, okay, I've been like 32 below freezing for a while, and then it gets down to 6. You're like, okay, let me just layer up. Let me just put another layer up. Maybe I just like double glove or whatever it is. But I'm saying it's totally different from somebody being here in Houston. It was like 75, 80 degrees yesterday, and then now it's like below freezing.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but think about what the temperature swing is, and yeah, you know what? I don't know. Yeah, I bet you
Pit Life said it's 4 degrees there.
it's
right
4
now.
degrees. Yeah,
Right.
no, thank you. I don't.
She got thicker skin up there, or what?
No,
What's
they got
happening
thicker
there?
blood for sure. The skin's still thin. But
What are you guys drinking to making it?
You like whole wheat, like just like oats. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do to stay warm there. It's cold.
Stay inside, I guess.
Yeah. What they do is they have a lot of babies around now, right? Everybody's just inside. Like, nah, we can't go outside. Okay, no TV, no nothing. Just let's get pregnant. I don't know why I said that, but it's weird. Yeah, I think a lot of babies are conceived in the wintertime, so that way they're born in the summer and whatever else. Just my thought, man. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah. Do you want to? I think we're still waiting for Rob to jump in. Do you want to talk about the beer a little bit?
I do. Yeah. This is a so we've got the McLovin beer. This is from a Martin House Brewery. 10% alcohol by volume.
10%.
Yeah, the hazy IPA made in Texas by Texans. I don't know if they have anything they want to. They don't really put anything on here. This is a good beer, man.
Dude, I love
This.
I love how he has Nicole tattooed on his chest.
Oh, I know.
That was
Yeah,
the girl
yeah,
that he was
right.
trying to hook up with.
Yeah. No, it's so good. No, this is a great beer. It's just a really drinkable beer. You the hazy IPAs, you hear that and you're like, I don't know if I like that, or I don't know if that's maybe too hoppy or whatever else.
It's
They're
gonna
not.
be this is gonna be a top score for me.
Yeah, they're not hoppy. This is a really drinkable beer.
Mhm.
You do get a little of the citrus notes to this, and eh, maybe that's part of the hops or part of the the grapefruit or whatever that comes with when you brew that or whatever else. But this beer is, man, it's so good, and it's a thick beer. It's not like it's not like a Coors Light. I'll tell you that. It's like orange juice, but thinner.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. Do you think they're getting down to a lot of like hazy IPAs up north? Is that what they're
Yeah.
drinking to just
Oh
to stay
yeah.
warm a little bit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they're drinking. And
That's
oats.
bad.
Drink the oats
A
and
lot of
then drink
oats.
the Azies.
Just
Yeah.
like oat milk and just everything.
Colorado County, go
Oh, man.
Texan. They'll be cooking there. They said, come by, grab a beer, say hi.
Come
Let's
on.
go.
We
Yeah.
do that. We definitely do that. Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the deal. You invited somewhere and who said this? Who's that? Burley?
Yes.
Yeah, listen, man. You say this and we show up. No, we're showing up. This is what happens when you invite the crazy person down the street. Hey, come over for a second. And you're like, oh, he won't come over. No, I just said just to be nice. And then we show up at the door and like, oh, hey, this crazy people are out there. We're gonna show up, man.
Right.
That's how we do it.
Right. Like, hey, we were just wanting you to come in, maybe just get a beer
Yeah,
and a
and like,
plate.
can you
and just
leave or nope? We're here.
start pulling up
Hey,
chairs.
why did you bring a sleeping bag? It's
Right.
weird. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, Eric. Congratulations on that. Yeah, it looks like yeah, go ahead and show that. Yeah, looks like brown water is the drink of choice for staying warm. So nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Eric said he won the Triple Crown um, in Texas last year. So yeah, man, hell yeah, you're the reigning champion. You got to defend that damn thing. And honestly, I'm wondering, like, what is your thought process going into this when you know that you've won this last year? Are you trying to exactly the same? Are you trying to stay with the hot hand or stay with the what's the saying here? I'm going to stay with the person that brought me to here. Right,
Mhm.
right. So. Or are you still innovating? Are you changing? Are you tweaking? I'm just curious, because I've we've been on a hot hand and on a roll, and you've got a first and you've got a second, and you go to another cook off and you got another second and a third, and you're always in the top 4 or 5, and I'm always wanting to tweak something, and the question was asked like, how are you going to change your recipe now that you got a sixth place? You're like, I don't think so. Like, I think it just wasn't our day today. It's not a. I think it's where people screw up a little bit in barbecue is they overthink like what's going on, and everybody wants to think, well, if it didn't happen today, it's because obviously I need to change something, and maybe it's just not your day, right? Maybe the meat, maybe the clouds were covered. I don't know. It's just sometimes it's not your day, and I think staying the course and just understanding how you cook and whatever. So I'm curious, Eric. Is that something are you looking at tweaking, or have you tweaked since then, or are you just like, nope, I'm steady Eddie. I'm gonna go with the person that brought me. Hey, we need to reach out to Rob. Is Rob about to
Let me shoot him a text.
yeah, shoot him a text real quick. See what he's doing here. He's probably cooking somewhere. He's like, no, what? That's next week. And
He's
I'm like,
like,
you know what?
shit.
Yeah. No kidding.
Hey, Eric jumped on. He said, it's tough. I have a few small tweaks, but mostly I cook the same every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric, we asked a question earlier. Obviously, a lot of people use phosphates for their and additive to their injections. Is there too much phosphates? Can you put too much in there? Do you? I'm always like, okay, if the recipe calls for 1 scoop, Does 2 scoops, like, does that make it more like
Right.
moisture retention, or does that just totally fuck it up? I don't know.
I mean, can you taste the phosphate?
I think it's odorless and tasteless.
So I'm thinking like 4 or 5 scoops in, right? What does it matter? Like, just only use phosphates.
And maybe when you get to that much and then you get on the molecular
You
level
got to
that it's
gel.
like,
It just gels.
yeah, it
Yeah.
starts tasting like potassium or I don't know what some type of
Yeah.
some shit you used to like mix together in like science class. You're like, oh shit, that stinks.
Yeah. Dang, man, we screwed that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, it's a good question. I mean, like, how much is too much?
Right. Why did my brisket turn purple?
Yeah, right, right. I think that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with a little bit is everybody wanting to tweak, everybody wanting to change what's going on, and this right here, adding the phosphates to your mix. I think a lot of seasonings have some kind of phosphates in there already, don't
I
they?
think so.
Right, and back in the day, there was the Moisture Magic, was
From
one.
Cosmos Q's.
That's
Yeah.
right. You could just take a little scoop, add it to your stuff, boom, and go. But
Are they all the same? That's
I-
what I'm
I
curious.
think so.
'Cause
I
you
think they're all the
see-
same.
You see LC Barbecue, they have the Rainmaker. You have
Yeah.
Texas Old does seasonings. They have the I believe it's called the Jack Moisture Magic from Cosmos Q's. I think you have the there was another one, something juice or whatever it was. I
Yeah.
can't think of it.
Squeeze the juice.
Yeah, wheeze the juice. Maybe that's what we'll come up with our own phosphate. I mean, if you're just buying out of a bag and just dumping it in a bottle, then we'll come up with our own grabbing the brisket phosphate and we'll just call it wheezing the juice or
Yeah.
something like that. You know what I mean?
And the MSG.
Yeah, we'll add the MSG in with it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're not gonna say it's MSG. We're gonna tell you, like, you buy this at your own risk, right? we're not disclosing anything. I'm not sure if you can do that. Maybe you can do it if you don't nationally, like produce it or whatever else. But
It's like a disclaimer on the side
Yeah.
of the bag where you have to get your blood pressure checked
Yeah,
before
right.
you ingest it.
do not take this if you've had heart problems in the last 100%. But look, I mean, here's the deal. And I can see the MSG. Like, when you look at seasoning, you pour it in your hand. I always sprinkle it out and look a little bit. I'm like, yeah, that's MSG there. This is this. It has that distinct cut look to it. I
Correct.
don't know if you've ever looked at this or when you're looking at seasonings. They're
It's like
supposed to
little
tell
crystals.
you. Yeah, they're supposed to tell you what it is. And I like how when you read the bottle of a seasoning and it says other spices, I'm like, damn, man, they just got us, right?
Yeah,
Hey, salt, pepper, seasonings, and other spices. I'm like, damn, what are the seasonings and what are the other spices?
Right.
Right.
I just ordered a bottle of the Boom from our boy Amp Seasonings.
Amp. Okay. Yeah.
The first ingredient in it is MSG.
Why
So,
not?
Yeah, and it's got pretty solid like crystals
Okay.
of MSG in there. It's like, dang, all right, I understand why this gets popped on everything, and it just enhances the flavor. Let's go.
I don't know what MSG is. I know I should know this, and it's like some mono glue. I don't know, but I don't know really. I don't know where it came from. I don't know who invented it. But I think, is this stuff lab made? It's not. It's not made in, like, you don't find this in natural earth, right?
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna do some more research on that. We definitely need to
Right.
come to the bottom of where
There's
this
a
comes from.
disclaimer.
There's-
Everything we say here could be a lie or could not be a lie. We don't know.
There's
right.
some pit in like Asia that they're just digging this shit out of the ground.
Yeah. Right. What?
Yeah, you want 16 mesh MSG or 30 mesh? What do you want? Let's go.
Dude, you can't say that. It's super weird.
No, I'm not being
Yeah.
trying to be whatever, but I know there was a pretty big deal in the Asian culture with Chinese food.
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, whatever. It's like, oh, this makes me sick, or this makes me
Headache. It's always
the
headaches, right?
headaches. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a
But,
headache from
man,
it.
it tastes great.
Yeah, I got a guy at work. He's like, every time I have MSG, I have a headache. I'm like, I don't think it's the MSG, bro. I think it's all the sugars and shit you're eating. I don't know.
Right. Could be all the other enriched foods that you're
Yeah.
eating.
Right.
I saw a thing the other day. It's like the guy calls into work. He's like, yeah, hey, I got food poisoning. And the boss is like, yeah. It's like, dang, man, what's going on, man? You're like throwing up and stuff. He's like, yeah, man, I'm throwing up a lot. He's like, so what did you eat something bad? He's like, yeah, I think it was one of the 17 beers I drank. So
Yeah.
I'm not really sure which beer it
Yeah,
was, but
but
it was
it's-
one of those. Probably.
I got snake bit.
Yeah, my bad. I'm not coming in.
Yeah. Damn. Sometimes it'd be like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, this her boy Rob
He's jumping on right
is
now.
he?
Yeah.
Okay, he's about to come on. And you know what? He's probably drunk or something. You know, you can't trust Rob. No, I'm just kidding.
On Thursday.
Yeah,
He's
on
probably
Thursday night.
he's probably gearing up for the Houston Livestock
He
Show
is
rodeo.
gearing up,
You know he is.
100%, man. He is so smooth. You watch if you watch somebody work, and watch some of these pit masters go. I mean, the really good ones are very methodical about how they move, uh, throughout their space. Everything is timed, and there's an internal clock going off. And if you've done this a lot, you don't really need a clock because you know I'm going to go here, 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 and as soon as you're done, you're cleaning and you're prepping for something else. And I think that's what kind of separates the beer drinkers and the guys that want to hang out and party and just just I guess plate some food versus the guys
Mhm.
that are guys and girls that are winning. So the those people are very methodical how they move through that, and Rob is one of them. So
Bit Life said, "Who's this Rob chick?"
yeah, right. Hey, no, man, no, you've never met her. Yeah. Hey, can we put a wig on him? Can we drop a filter? Yeah. Oh man, that's
Hey,
great.
so this cookers team right here, they said they normally don't. I do non-sanction competitions. I've had good calls. Hopefully, making the jump this year to CBA, but slightly intimidated.
No, no, listen, I jump in it, man. The CBA is revolutionized just in Texas. And those guys have done a phenomenal job of really because a lot of these guys were the IBCA uh, cookers, and they took a sanctioning body that they really loved and said, look, this can be better. And they kind of cherry picked the things they liked, and then they came back and said, this is how we can improve upon it. The scoring system is really phenomenal. The way that every judge has an iPad and they're able to score. You're able to score it, so you have instantaneous numbers coming in. So in the past, you're waiting 2 hours, 3 hours to try to get to judging, right? And it's like, oh, we got to tally everything up. Like, what's going on with your scoring section
Mhm.
here? Right? This is 2023. It's 2022. I'm not sure the year for CBA, but it was probably somewhere around 22, 21 era there. But that has really just revolutionized the way that that was done. But also, competition breeds greatness, and it's allowed the IBCA world to go, yeah, you're right. Hey, these are great ideas, and then they're going to improve upon this. So yeah, I say don't hold back. Get in there and cook one because you're never going to know. And just yeah, I mean, you have no idea how well you're going to fare just because it's a different sanctioning body. I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest thing about it, it allows you, for us in Texas, we weren't cooking the Kansas City style. We weren't doing the money muscle, pulled pork, or that wasn't even really a category for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Pork wasn't a category. Now they got chicken to where you don't have to do half chickens. You can
The,
start
the thighs.
mastering the thighs
That's right.
and throwing in wings. I see everybody doing wings now. I'm like that just so and I got questions because I've never judged one of those. Do they just
Man,
pick up and just eat the wing?
I never had a bad
And they
wing in
don't
my
have to
life.
eat the thighs or the half chicken. I saw one do a half chicken and just line the whole box with like wings, and I'm like, all right, so they just eat the wings, and this guy killed. I mean, he got like seventh or sixth top five in a 40, 50 plus competition. I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, there you go. Well, we'll pick Rob's reign when he jumps in because I got questions. I'm always on the social medias and I'm checking with all these teams that are posting their picks. I hope they post their box. I hope they post them walking up, getting their trophies and how they kind of put their stuff together. So
Yeah.
I'm always trying to learn and steal little tricks and tips from each and everybody. I mean, they're not giving her the seasonings and they're not really showing what's in their injections, which really sucks. And you guys really need to do like a how-to full like
Wow.
video on how to do that. But you're exactly right, Jan. Don't be scared. Jump into those competitions. Jump into those CBAs. You'll never know. I mean, you can kill it in the backyard. You can run it here, and you can kill it with the pros too.
That's it. That's it. Hey,
You're tuned in to Smoking the Competition with Rob Arocha, bringing you the latest and greatest from the world of Texas competitive barbecue. Who's smoking hot and who's not?
dude, Rob,
And we got the man.
What's happening, fellas? How are you guys?
man, oh man, we thought you forgot about us. We thought you just said, "Man, I don't want to do this anymore." I'm
Never,
yeah.
never,
Yeah.
never.
How
What's
you
up,
been, man?
guys? I'm
Nah,
good, man.
doing great. Doing
I'm real
great,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking a little CBA action right now. We're talking obviously
Perfect.
Houston coming up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, one of the questions we had just now was we've got a guy that's cooked a lot of non-sanctioned barbecues and was thinking about cooking a CBA, but was a little intimidated. And yeah, just kind of get your thoughts on that.
Don't be intimidated. Go out there and do your thing. Go out there and have some fun. That's really the main part of what we do here, and see how it goes. And if you're new to this thing, man, just go and ask questions and go visit with the people out there. Everybody in the sport, for the most part, is very willing to help. Pretty knowledgeable and can get you started on the right path.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and yeah, I do think you're right on that. For the most part, uh, people are willing to share, like, hey, listen, hey, look for this or look for that, or hey, this is, there's always the tips and tricks that people are willing to give away. And there are the few people out there, right? There's always the few teams that are so guarded. You're like, man, what are you doing? Like, you don't want to like, hey, how's it going? You're like, I don't want to talk to you. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, well, take
Or
care.
they'll shut their trailer on you or whatnot.
Yeah.
That old guard is kind of gone away. I don't know. I think there's so much information out there online, doing shows like these, stuff like that. You can always find that information out there. So there are some teams that are still pretty guarded about what they do, but for the most part, I would say those are few and far between. Most of the guys out there are gonna offer you tips and maybe little secrets to help you get on your way.
Yeah, no. I've been looking, obviously social media, and I'm following every pitmaster out there. I think, and our boy Bill Purvis, man,
Mhm.
his videos lately on his social media is just, it's killing it, man. I mean, he has got some great, the photography, the videography is phenomenal. But and obviously he's promoting himself and his seasonings. But when he's throwing down, some of these are at competitions. You can see in the background he's at a competition, and you're like, oh, okay. You see the seasonings. It's not just his seasonings. It's not just his stuff that he's
No.
using. He's
Yeah.
using everybody else's stuff because he has a proven method. And you're seeing it. And I'm like, there's a lot of tips and tricks out there. If you just start following some of these guys, and just seeing, hey, some of the methods they're using, because everybody's sharing something,
Mhm. Yeah, Bill is out there. His social game is very strong. I always, I was joking the other night that he's got a production team in his trailer somehow,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
but he's doing it out there. But yeah, just by looking at the photos or the videos that he's posting, you can pick up something. He'll post a chicken with grill marks on that, right? And so if
Yep.
that seems to be working, then maybe you should do some grill marks, or he'll put a trimming video out there. So all of his stuff is very informative, and I highly recommend if you're a newbie or even a veteran, go out there and look at everybody's videos out there. You're gonna pick something up. For the most part, you might, but if you do, you can apply it to your bag of tricks and see what that turns out like.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Rob, we were talking a little bit about the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Do you have a chance? Are you competing out there this year?
Yeah, this will be my third year to compete. I compete with a team called the Half Fast Cookers.
Yeah.
They are on Saltgrass Trail, C915. This will be our third year out there. Blessed to get a walk the first year, and didn't not so much last year, but hoping to go 2 for 3, and that would be a good batting average. We're looking forward to it. We're ready. We're prepped and ready, and start loading in basically this weekend.
So, talk a little bit about the mindset of doing a competition like the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. And we talked a little bit about you prior to you jumping on. You've pretty much run the gambit on these competitions, the large ones and the big ones. And you just mentioned your phenomenal call with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Talk a little bit about the Houston Rodeo and the mindset that you have going into it. Do you prepare any differently? The rules, the stuff that they kind of make you go through,
Yeah.
which is not they're not a part of, I guess, the sanctioning body, which maybe a lot of people are maybe used to. Runs
Mhm.
through a little bit of that.
Yeah, so it is a little different going to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, being it's non-sanctioned. They still tag meets out there. They have their own way of doing things, and so it's real important that you get with the your event ambassador. I don't know why it keeps slipping my mind. But basically your guy that comes in and basically talks to you about, what time they're going to be there. Cause everything, there's like a 15-minute window. So it is different. The boxes are smaller. You have to put your meat in a certain way. I cook a lot of CBAs where, we have freedom to put our box, however we want, chicken, we can add pieces, however many slices of ribs we want to put in there, slices of brisket, burn ends. But in Houston, it's different, right? So you have to follow the rules that they have, and so part of that is how many ribs you can put in the box, how you can place them, how many slices you can do, no burn ends, chicken. There used to be allowed pieces. I understand that that's no longer a deal. It's got to be a full half chicken. The boxes are smaller, so there is some things you have to know ahead of time going in, and adjust accordingly.
No, that's got to be so perturbing a little bit. And here's the deal: the evolution of Houston barbecue has come a long ways, because back in the day it wasn't even like this. It
Yeah.
was the best. It was the best. How do they put it? You could have a chicken going against a brisket going against
Hmm.
something different, right?
Yeah.
That's how you was scored, and you would have a grand champion out of that, which is kind of odd. But
And you
that was
picked you
historically
you basically had to select which protein you were gonna do. If
okay.
are you a rib team? Are you a chicken team? Are you a brisket team? Um, yeah, it was different back then. Now they've adopted, I think they listen and they have cumulative scoring. So your whole cook, and obviously each team gets to turn into 3 chicken, ribs, and brisket. So hats off to them. They've kind of adjusted over the last few years, and it's working out. You're truly getting a team that had their day that year, right? So
Yep.
they did well in all 3 categories.
No, I totally agree. And just to I'm just gonna ask the question, how long do you think before because it's not a perfect system still, right? They're
Mhm.
still flawed. I mean, like how aggravated are you if you get this box and you get a half chicken, but the damn thing doesn't fit in the box. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because it's got a
Yeah.
smaller box and you're having to, I mean, what are you going to cut down? I mean, you're going to cut down the leg bone, or you're going to are you trying to buy smaller birds? Because it's a good point. Like, hey,
Yeah.
these are smaller boxes. I've got I can't buy a a a,
Like a
a
3 pound, three and a
yeah
half, 4 pound.
a 4.5 pound bird. I've got to find a 3.5 pound bird and cut it down in order to make sure it fits perfectly inside this box.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. You gotta, as I was talking about the preparation, you gotta know. And while watching shows like this, you'll know if people are watching this show, they'll know if they're competing that there's a smaller box in Houston compared to most of the sanctioning bodies. So you do have to plan accordingly and go hunt. I'm searching for a under 4 pound bird. Um, that's the goal. That's what we're doing right now. And so, hopefully we'll find one. There's a lot of big ass birds. All the birds are on steroids right now.
man, I'm
Uh,
telling you.
Finding one under 5 pounds is really difficult right now. So if we're hunting for a 4 pound, um, and the whole city of Houston's hunting for one. So
That's
it makes it a challenge for sure.
Do you have a particular brand that you like to stick with, or is it just a bird's a bird?
No, I do. And they no longer carry it at Sam's, but it wasn't a Sanderson Farms. It was a George's farm to market bird. They sold them in 2 packs. They were organic. You basically opened them up and they were white birds, and so you could tell that they didn't have a lot of solution or anything like that they were brining in. So
Mhm.
I really liked those birds. You can't get them in there anymore. I don't know why they discontinued them, but that was my little honey hole to go find chickens. Yeah, I'm right now I'm kind of zeroed in on those HEB air chilled little guys. They're a little more expensive, but I just don't like seeing some of the ones you open up and they already look yellow and they look different.
Yeah.
Than those are the ones that I kind of steer clear of. But hey, I've walked with those too, but it's just not my preference.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Just how long? Just go back to Houston. How long do you think before the CBA is the sanctioning body for Houston? You had to give a guess.
I don't. I would hope that they would look our direction, but I don't think Houston. They have no reason to change. That's still the one of the premier events to go out there. It is their baby. It is their thing. They have their judges, their committee. There's a full committee devoted to this cook-off, and so
Yeah.
I don't see them handing over the reins. I would love for them to talk to Fred and our powers that be, and
Yeah.
maybe get our handheld devices in there and adopt some of our rules. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, not now, but I mean, change takes time,
Mhm.
and I think the people say, "Hey, check this out," and it doesn't. It takes the right committee member, the right person that's over this to go, "Hey, wait a minute! I just went to this cook off. I just saw how maybe it's a Austin rodeo, right? Because I know the CPA has done the Austin rodeo already, and
And still
that
doing
may
it. Mhm.
that's right, and I love that. We're gonna be there. Are you gonna be there for
No, I'm
Austin?
not. I'm not able to cook that one.
Okay.
Prior commitments, I can't make it.
Well, if you want to call in sick those prior commitments, come out and hang out, man. Let us know. We're gonna
Oh,
be
I've
there.
done it. I love it. It's
Yeah.
a great event, man. It's that one's a lot of fun as well, and it's a 200 plus team contest.
Yep.
It's a big one too.
Yeah, it is. And it's like again, I was talking this earlier and I was like, they have some similarities to Houston. I mean, they all do, right?
Mhm.
But the one thing about it is like all the booths are open, right? Like you don't have to have a wristband to go into a booth in Austin. You just get to go in. It's and any money you donate goes to charity. So all those buckets they have sitting up and all the booths going around, all that gets gathered up and it just goes to the charity for the scholarships and whatever else. It's kind of unique because you can walk into a booth and they have some 80s hair band playing, and you walk next door and they've got Queen of My
Kevin Fowler, Roger Krager.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, some Kevin Fowler or Roger Krager, playing in inside of another booth, and you're like, "We just get to go in for free?" "Yeah, you go in for free, you're fine. Just contribute,know? It's just a different m mentality, I think.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, there's a San Antonio's kind of the same way. I don't know if y'all ever done that one. There's really not too many private events out there. You can pretty much walk in and do that. Yeah, we were talking last night. Butter from War Pig, he's wanting to have something to where a lot of the teams adopt like this pitmaster pass, right? You can go into each person's booth because as you guys know, as pitmasters and cooks and whatnot, they're not gonna hang out for 4 hours and drink all their
Right.
stuff and go eat their food. They're coming in there to say hello, grab a
Yep,
beer maybe, and mosey on to the next tent till they go say hello. So
that's
uh,
right.
you don't want to be, it sucks when you're, hey, I know this guy. I'm a fellow cook. I just want to go in and say hi, and you're trying to stand
Right.
at the gate. Hey, you don't want to do all that, and so Butter's trying to, we talked about it last night on our show, that create this pitmaster pass to where these security guards or teams that are willing to do that will honor just letting the guys in, and like I said, we're only going to be in there for maybe 10 minutes tops, and
Yep.
get on to the next one.
Yeah,
No,
that's
that's
pretty
that's
badass.
that's a great idea. That's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
No, I think that's,
Yeah, I don't know if Jan, do you remember hanging out with Rob at Austin Rodeo Saturday night, about I don't know 20 beers deep, rolling in and out of these concerts?
I do.
Yeah, of course I do. Of course I do, James. What kind of person would I be if I didn't remember
No,
that?
I know. Yeah, dude, that was
Yeah.
that was a fun night. That was a blur. We had Aaron Leslie. I mean, we're rolling it in and out of all these little venues. Just
Yeah.
and like you said, it's pretty cool because you actually get done with the competition, and they don't do the judging until the next day. So you get to hang out with the pit masters. You get to go
Yeah.
around and associate and knock back a few beers with them and really just build that friendship and that camaraderie and learn and do all that type of stuff. So it was really fun to do that. Yeah, I was just curious if you remember. You started a little early that day.
No, I didn't, James. I was fine. Listen, I was fine. I didn't start early.
I
But
can't remember who we saw. It was a pretty badass famous singer that we were watching too in one of those tents. I can't remember. It might have been Fowler. I know we saw Fowler as well, but
oh yeah. I
I don't
No,
remember.
no.
It's a good time though.
The well, shit. I don't know what I was going to say with that.
Yeah,
Just talking about
there's
beer drinking. Beer
yeah,
drinking.
drinking beer,
Hey,
drinking.
speaking of beer,
Oh,
somebody
shit.
mentioned earlier that you're kind of a fan of IPAs.
I am not a fan of IPAs.
Oh no, you are. We heard it. We heard about you. You love the IP.
It's factual.
Yeah,
it's
it's
already in the chat.
factual. We put it
already
in.
That.
It's on our intro for the show, and says it's say something like I can tell you the difference between an IPA and a stout. That is not true. I don't venture that far into the beer game. Those things you can't have more than 2 or 3 of those, and then you're feeling them different. You're feeling different than
Exactly.
2 or 3
What's
trusty
your
old Miller Lights.
what's your go-to?
It's a Miller Lite just because you can drink more than a few and still operate. What are y'all drinking?
So this is the I am McLovin from
I don't know if Raul can zoom in on Jan.
from Martin House. This
love
is
it.
a 10% alcohol by volume hazy IPA made in Texas by Texans. I'm not gonna lie, like this beer. I have not had supper tonight, but I had one of these beers. I'm really like, geez, man.
That's what I'm talking about. 10%.
Well,
Shit.
sneaky snake. Yeah,
That's a double.
yeah, man.
Miller
That's
Lite
good.
right there, bro.
Yeah, all in one, and it's kind of heavy. So you're like, do I eat supper tonight or do I not? I don't know. Maybe I'm fasting. I don't know how that really works.
McLovin. What does it
Yeah.
taste like? Bad decisions?
No, so this is McLovin. The McLovin made all the right decisions. This is it's a citrusy, not bitter.
Yeah, it's not bitter.
It's
not
very smooth. Just kind of, I don't know. Just it's the IBUs are low on this beer.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's like the
bitter,
Miller
but-
Lite of IPAs. It's very just low.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
You got to check
Separates
this out, man.
10%.
Yeah.
That's what's scaring me right there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a celebratory beer.
If you drink this on the way to work, you're probably going to have the best day of your life. That's all I'm saying.
Wanting to take a nap before lunch.
Right. Or argue with your boss.
Oh, yeah, that'll work too, right?
Oh man. Hey, so what the hell you been up to, man? Like you're just competing, you're running around. I know the show's phenomenal.
Thank you.
So yeah, come on, tell us.
Well, no, I'm not competing like I was, and it's just because my kids are 15 and 17 now. They're playing a bunch of ball, and we're starting to get right back into it. So, shoot, for the last 2 years, I haven't really been going at it like I used to. I used to do like almost 40 contests a year.
Yep.
Doing pretty well doing it. Now, last year I think I only did 17, which was half of what I was doing, more than half of what I was doing. Still did pretty well. I mean, we finished in our team, me and my wife Diane, we were Bullhorn Barbecue. We finished we still finished 7th in the state in chicken. We finished in the top 25 in every category. So when we do go out there, we still you'll still hear our music playing, and that's the only goal that we want. Obviously, we want to win as many as we can. We still won. We had 3 grand championships last year out of 17 contests. So
Nice.
a pretty good ratio, winning percentage. We're just trying to, when we can do some, we're going out there and knocking them out. But we're focused on our kids right now with baseball and being there for them, because I got they're 15. Well, the youngest is 15, and barbecue will still be here once I can get back out there doing 30, 40 contests a year. But we're still going to the Royal, still going to Houston, went to San Antonio. We're still knocking out the big ones that we really like, and trying to hit some here and there that just really we want to attend. So that's our goal. But yeah, we're still out there, still kicking butt whenever we do out there. So I love it, and it's a good time.
No, I think that's very commendable, and you're caught in the same cycle that a lot of us are caught in, as far as having kids that are starting to become of age.
Yeah.
It was easier doing when we were younger, and run the roads and whatever else. But now you're at a point where you just want to see them succeed,
Mhm.
and you want to foster their growth, and hell, you just want to be there. You just want to see it, be a part of everything that's going on in their lives. Yeah, there was and it's another show. It's what's his name, James?
I'm really good at this
It's
game.
I can't remember his name. You'll say in a second.
Okay.
But there was a question proposed, and we actually proposed this question maybe a year ago, talking about barbecue, and coming on with the offset cooking was just life. That was a life, 15 years ago, 10 years ago.
Sorry.
I'm an avid. No, you're fine. I'm avid offset cooker. I love feeding the wood, and just methodically moving that direction, and just maintaining that temperature. I love that part, right? And then the pellet smoker, and then you have the drums. But there was a question proposed, was the do the judges even like smoke anymore? And has it become more of a sauce game than it has a barbecue game? Because a lot of these cooks, and these cookers are basically ovens. You
Yeah.
can set them and
Yep.
forget them. And there's not a whole lot of wood being put in. So I guess my question to you is, like, what are your thoughts on that? Is this has it more become down to the sauce and the technique of cooking barbecue versus trying to handle an offset cooker, and to it's not become, or really try to be that pit master that's having to stay locked in on the pit and the process, versus set the charcoal and run. And here, and I'll preface this by saying, we have the drums, we use the drums, we use the pellets, and we use offsets. So like all in cook-offs. So it's kind of want your thoughts on that.
You if you do have a heavy smoke flavor, it's now more apparent to a judge, because yeah, like you mentioned, there's pellet smokers, there's drum smokers that don't put out as much smoke as you're going to put out doing a stick burner, right? Your traditional stick burner. So if you do have, even if you have like some bad wood, maybe some wet wood or something that is it's just producing too much smoke up there, it's definitely going to come through your food, and a judge is definitely going to taste it. And you see a lot of comments. I have friends in the game, and they say it's too smoky, whatnot. That's a comment that you kind of see, too smoky. As far as a sauce game versus any other, the sauce is a big part in competition barbecue for sure, for certain, especially how you apply your sauce and how it's set onto your food. But it's a tenderness game, man. You gotta hit your mark in tenderness. That's the first thing a judge is gonna taste. So let's talk chicken, right? If you have a good tenderness in chicken, someone might say it's too juicy. I've seen that too, but you definitely want to go that side versus having a dried out kind of chalky texture feel for chicken. So ribs as well. You don't, here in Texas, we can almost put them up small off the bone ribs here because it's fork and knife. But that's a tenderness game, and it changes from here versus doing like a competition up north of KCBS. Brisket the same way. You want that snap still. You still want it to be tender. You still see the bend finger test. You guys know well with being who you guys are, the brisket professors. So it's a tenderness game. Sauce is a big portion of it. I mean, offsets still do very well in competition barbecue, but it's drums are pretty much everybody has a drum in their camp right now. Pellet smokers are a big asset, just because you know what a pellet smoker is going to do. You know it's going to hold temp and it's going to be where you want it. And if you need something, you know exactly what it's going to do. Drums kind of the same way. So yeah, offsets still do very well, but yeah, as far as picking up on smoke, I do think judges do kind of pick up if it's got a heavy smoke flavor on it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a wild thing because if you look back like 10 years ago on what people were utilizing and with the insulated barbecue pits and the Mobergs and just
Mhm.
all these pits out there, and there was a guy that came out with a Traeger, and dude, I'm telling you right now, 10 years ago, you might got a little shit talk, you might get a little roasty, you're like, you know what I mean? I mean, like, and we were all like, "Oh, yeah, I've got one in the arsenal," right?
Yeah,
And you just nobody talked about it that much, I guess. And
no,
now it's so mainstream into it that, uh, that honestly, like, we we utilize that because one, that we know it'll maintain the temperature that we want to maintain, especially if we're fighting something or we don't want that much smoke on something. We just want to make sure we have the heat to follow it up. Hey, I've got no problem moving over to a drum or moving over to a uh, a a pellet grill. I don't want to say Traeger because I mean it's just a pellet grill to me. I mean,
yeah,
but those the auger works the way the auger works. It feeds in. It's got a thermocoupler inside, and it's going to maintain that temperature inside. That actually helped us produce some badass barbecue and place at a few cook-offs where we wouldn't have placed in because we are fighting the offset so damn much with the wind. It was so windy.
yeah,
It was choking off the stack. And a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, like when it's that windy, like you've got a few options. One, you got to stop the choke of your stack coming off because it just stifles. It just stifles the airflow coming through, and then now you got dirty smoke. You've got something going on, you know. So it's just wild to see this
Mm.
transition that now that we're in. It's almost so mainstream that like you go out to a barbecue cook off and you've got almost every team is running a drum. It seems like
100%. Yeah,
you
they
know.
are, and the appeal of drums is they're consistent. They produce good food. They put a small footprint. They're very light. So for somebody like me that doesn't have a huge trailer,
Yep.
it works for a lot of teams. I've my arsenal. I got 2 drums. I got me a trusty Rectech Bull that I've had
Oh yeah.
forever. It's a beast. Can't kill that thing. Um, Sometimes I bring a bullseye, and now I got a little gateway, those little go tos. So yeah, drums and pellets. I think like I mentioned, the pellet. A lot of teams are carrying them in their arsenal just because, like, I use them for cooking as well. But a lot of teams will just, once it's in the wrap, it goes in the pellet, and so it's going to be done. And ribs will be done in an hour and 15, hour and a half. Brisket will be done in 2 hours after you wrap it and put it in there. At whatever temperature you set. So you don't have to think about it, right? You know what it's going to do. You know it's going to be consistent, and and that's part of the appeal of competition barbecue is you do enough of this and it becomes repetitive, but you don't miss a step. And cooking more helps with that. But just having those tools and utilizing them each and every week is what makes you more consistent and puts you on the stage quite more often than not.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that bullseye, that bullseye cookers, that's almost like the Weber, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Gets up
dude,
to
that's
1,000
a
degrees.
money, dude. That is a money cooker. God bless, man.
Yeah, it's
I want one. I don't have one, but I want one of those.
yeah, it gets up to 1,000 degrees. A lot of the ancillary steaks and stuff like that. I asked Jody from RecTech one time. I was like, "What are you cooking at 1,000 degrees?" And he goes, "Whatever the fuck you want, bro." I was
Yep,
like, "Fair
yep.
enough.
There it is. Yeah,
Whatever you fucking want." I was like,
yeah,
"Okay, fair enough. Whatever you want at 1,000 degrees, you can cook it
We,
on it."
we got a couple of questions. One,
yep.
okay, looks like Burley Gunter feels like it's a competition between. Yeah, I'll throw it up there. It's a competition between Smoking Wizard sauce and Blues Hog sauce. Just his particular opinion. So, do you have a favorite between the two?
Between those two,
Yep.
Blues Hog.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite sauce?
Um, I do. It's I mix sauces, so that's
Yeah.
some of the things that we do. So we mix every. Let's see. I'm thinking. Yeah, all my sauces are mixes, and Blues Hogs and a few Cosmos is a big part of my arsenal as well. So
Yep.
a lot of Cosmos sauce, Blues Hog sauce is great, and that is Blues Hog is known throughout the country, right? KCBS is a lot of those teams. They use Blues Hog right out of the bottle, and so a lot of those judges up there recognize and they know that. And it's if you put something else up there, it's going to stand out, which could be good, but also could be bad. But yeah,
Yeah, right. You live and die by it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Yes.
So really quick, if you're serving a half chicken, are you breast out or are you thigh out?
You mean forward on the box when they open it up? Is that what you're asking?
Are you thigh forward or you breast forward?
Breast forward is
Breast
the
forward.
way that's my personal preference. Just because if you cook a good breast, it's great. The thigh is tasty to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't like dark meat for whatever reason. I love
I know.
dark meat, and so I have that breast forward. I'm a big proponent of clipping that wingtip off of to expose that beautiful chicken breasts.
Oh yeah.
If that wing is kind of covering it up a little bit, you've worked real hard to set your seasonings and make it look as pretty as you can. Set that sauce. I don't want to see a wingtip that you're not going to eat. I mean, it's just there for a toothpick, basically. So, yeah, Rob hates the tip. Yes, I do.
Rob, it's just a tip, man. Come on.
Yeah. No, that's how it starts, man. That's how it starts. But yeah,
plus the wingtip there, it darkens up, right? A lot of times, it darkens up. It becomes almost an eyesore. You see it before you see the chicken, and it's one of those things, right? So I kind of agree with you, but a clean snip on it, not. I've seen some boxes, right? So I think in order to really cook good barbecue and understand what's going on, you've got to be able to judge. And obviously, you don't want to be a novice judging because then you're just. I'm not sure if you know what you're doing. But I've seen the boxes and I've seen the wing tips coming in that are there that are folded back or folded in, and I'm not sure how they're doing that, but it looks almost like it's just parallel with the bone itself. I don't mind that so much.
No, it looks okay.
It does, but when it's snipped, it's just a clean look, and it just when you see it, you're like, okay, I like that. Um, would you cut would you cut the chicken before you cook it, or are you cutting after? Are you
You're
cooking
talking about the
like a
wingtip?
spatchcock? No. Are you doing a spatchcock? And it's not just about what I mean, it's just what your preference is or whatever else. But are you a guy that wants to spatchcock it and then cut it at the end where you have that defined line on the breast, or do you want that perfect wrap around a skin to where it's just a bubble? You know what I mean?
I don't think that looks good when you spatchcock it and then cut it at the very end and you've got all that breast exposed. That's I like to prep it before everything's done in prep, but it's a rounded end. It's not a sliced end to where you can see the breast inside. It looks like a beautiful rounded bird breast on there. So the skin is kind of is coming underneath and it's held down there as well.
Yeah, it's like a full C cup or something.
Pretty much. D cup if you find them 5.5 pound birds and higher.
That's what I'm talking
Might not
about.
be able to put it in the box, but hey, Corby wants to get your thoughts on phosphates. We talked about it a little bit earlier today. Really, just in the context of can you put too much phosphates?
I think you can. You can leave them in there too much for sure. But it's all part of the game now. Everybody's using them right now, so it's part of. I think you need to add them into your game to it's a tenderizer kind of so much. So it's as far as what thoughts do you want to hear? I mean I think everybody's using them out there. So you can what was discussed earlier. You can definitely leave them in there. And do too much.
Well, really just kind of okay. So when you do mix them, I think there is a potency issue. To once you mix it into its injection, you
Mhm.
really probably have like about what 12 to 24 hours that you really want to start injecting your meat to get the full maximum potential out of the phosphates. At least that's what I read. I could be totally wrong off that whole scenario.
Well, at a comp, you're not getting that much time. You know, even if you showed up on Thursday night, you're not going to start. I wouldn't start injecting that early
Yeah,
to
but
get 24 hours.
you wouldn't like Monday mix up your injections, correct?
No, 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 no. We're mixing them up Friday morning or
Okay.
yeah, Friday morning. Yeah, you don't want them to sit too long and I don't, I'm sure people do well. They probably
Diluting.
mix them
Yeah.
on Wednesdays, and that's the thing about barbecue, guys. You can do it so many different ways and end up on the stage. It's one of those things. There's no clear cut way or clear cut answer, and everybody feels that they have the right answer. You're wrong. I mean, it's just somebody else is doing it a completely different way, and they're still doing as well or maybe even better.
Well,
Right.
I think the biggest thing that for us, one of the biggest lessons I've learned in the last probably couple of years of just cooking, and this is coming from guys that have competed for the last 20 years and small circuits and small bar cook-offs and all around the Gulf Coast area, and just kind of cutting your teeth into it. But I think for the one thing, the biggest lesson I've learned is don't overcomplicate it. It's not, you don't have to have 15 different million seasonings. You don't have to have, you know, you want a good bite of barbecue. You want something relatable, and it's the tender and it's the texture of the meat itself that people are looking for. And people get caught up on what everybody's using. They get caught up on it's got to be this one seasoning. It's got to be this one wrap. It's got
Yeah.
to be this one injection. And yeah, maybe they're great injections. It's a great rub and it's a great sauce and whatever. But at the end of the day, like what separates you from somebody else, I think for a lot of people is it's the way you cook it and people lose sight of that sometimes. They get so focused on it has got to be this seasoning. It's got to be this. And it's like it didn't have to be like simple. Like reel it back a little bit. It's gotta be good barbecue, right? And
Mhm.
that's the thing, like, people judging this thing are they're not they're not comp guys. Maybe they are in some way, but they're not like they're not because if they were, they wouldn't be there. They would be out competing. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts, if you're starting out new, one of the things that used to get me doing this when I was just getting started in this thing is I'd bring the whole kitchen sink, right? And I'd bring too much stuff, right? You can have too much stuff. And one of the things that I learned doing this is to streamline your process. Meaning I would bring, let's say I would have, you know, 20 different seasonings in my bucket, right? And then some days you're there and it's like, oh, this might be good today, right? This might work today or whatever it may be, whatever your thought processes are. But you're never going to zero in on your profile if you keep changing each and every week or just adding something different or whatnot. So I would keep it simple, like you mentioned. Bring what you're going to use, right? If you've been practicing with these seasonings, only use those seasonings. Don't add anything at the last minute. You can tweak, but give that all that practice you've been doing or other things you've been running, give that a shot, right? Just give that a shot and see what the judges think of that. And then maybe I tweak it or add something on there. But I would bring too much. And so I never really gave anything a shot. I would just be like, okay, this is going to be today's seasoning, right? And so after a while, you want to zero in on what's working for you. You want to zero in on your process and then you want to turn it in and see what the judges think. Nowadays, we have feedback. So in CBA, you get comments. Hopefully, you get comments
Yep.
that'll help you. That'll, if it's too salty or whatever it may be, or doesn't have it, and it's bland or whatever they tell you, then you can go back. Okay. And if you get the next week, you get another salty comment or you get another bland comment. Okay. Well, then here's a trend now. Right. So, I was just doing too much, getting on. So if anybody's new and they want to get into this thing, man, just figure out what you want to use and kind of keep your bag with just your tools that you're going to use. Don't bring any extra stuff that you're going to maybe at the last second think, okay, this is something that might work today. So
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right. Like cook the barbecue you like, right? Cook what you've been cooking like for the last 3 weeks or month or 2 months at your house, right? Because every one of us are at the home. We're still competing internally. We're still cooking a
yeah,
brisket. We're still cooking something, but cook the shit that you cook. And like that's been something that's been a downfall for us a little bit sometimes is that like like we know what we like, and then we go to a competition. We're trying to cook to see what somebody else likes, and it's like that's not the case because now you're over your skis too much. You're just you're doing way too much, you know.
yeah.
And that's great advice, man. That's awesome.
But like I said, there's all kinds of different ways. There's some guys that do that, they just like, all right, let's try this today, and they walk. So
Yeah.
it's just for me starting out, that was kind of like getting that was a hurdle I had to get over. Is like, hey, let's just bring what we're going to use and leave all the other stuff out of the trailer, and let's give this a shot. And then once I started doing that, you can zero in on your profile. You can zero in on what you're really wanting to do and the food that you're really wanting to turn in. If you keep adding stuff, it just messes with your head. And it's like, okay, well, was this the reason that sucked? I don't know. You shouldn't have put it on there. Or was this the reason that it did so well? And then the next week you get away from your profile. It starts changing ever so slightly, but then you look up and you're way over here when you used to be over this way, and it's just different.
That's right. No, hey, listen, for me it's funny because I'm the idiot that's this I was so in my own head, but for like these, I don't know, for half a year we've been running this seasoning and just this method. And we're sitting at I think we're at the Pasadena cook off, and which is a great cook-off, and they're doing a lot of construction out there. So now everybody will be on concrete at Pasadena. So for
Yeah.
Strawberry Festival and for the year Pasadena Livestock Show and Rodeo, it'll be on concrete. So nobody's in the mud, which is phenomenal. But we're out there, and we're sitting in the bleachers there, and I look over at James, and they're like at fourth place, and I look at James. I said, I'm so tired of this. We have to change we got to change something. We have to do something different. This is ridiculous, whatever. Right. I'm just, James is like, he looks at me, he's like, yeah, okay, man, whatever. Right. He just give me that nonchalant, the shitty look, and he's like, he's down for me and one row over. And I'm staring at him, and he's like, yeah, fine. Okay. You can tell he's frustrated, right?
Right.
And then they call third, and then they call second, right? And at second, James looks at me and he goes, he waves a ticket. He's like, yeah, boom. And he stands up. And I'm like, damn, dude, we just got second out here. So I stand up and I said, I take it all back. I take it all back. Run it, baby. Let's go.
Right.
Right.
You should have told him, sit back down. Let me go
Right.
get this trophy.
No, he did, man.
I think he said we ain't changing shit.
Yeah, I said we ain't changing shit, man. We're gonna run this. So I mean, listen, here's the deal. Like, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Like, who knows? Don't be afraid of tweaking, but do it in small stages. Don't be so reactive. Be proactive, right? It's like cook it, run it, like compete against it. Can't change each week because if you're the guy changing every week, you don't have a process down.
Yeah. And document the shit out of it. Write
right.
that stuff down. Because I mean, early on in our career, we're going through, we're changing this and that, and then shit, you start
14
drinking, you
Bud
start
Lights later.
celebrating,
Yeah.
and then next week you don't remember what you did, and
Yeah.
so we learned that, I guess, we learned that from Doug with Road Cookers. He's like, he sat there and just like got a journal out, just
Yeah.
sit there, and just wrote down everything. Okay, I did this, and you practice. You do a lot of chickens. You do a lot of ribs, and then run with it. And like you said, especially if you go to the CBA, you get the feedback from these competitions saying, okay, this is where you fall. Maybe I need to tweak it a little bit. So yeah, very good information.
But not if a one CBA, right? Run a couple. If you're getting consistent results back and consistent feedback, then okay, make a move then. I mean, I just don't know of any more like beginning when I first thought about this and first started this. I would have been very reactive and changed immediately without even cooking a second event, right? So cook a second event. See if that's the same feedback coming back. If it is, I totally agree with you, Rob. That's okay. Yeah, maybe it is too salty. Hey, dial
Wait,
it back a little bit.
you mentioned, yeah, give it some events, because you're gonna put it in front of another set of 6 judges, and you get a completely different deal. Let me give you one instance to where how crazy this sport that we call competition barbecue is. It was a big, huge contest. I'm not gonna mention any names because they shouldn't have done this, but they cooked their brisket, and they picked their best slices. They put them in a box and they turned it in. And it just so happened that their neighbor or one of their friends, they they did something to their brisket and they weren't going to turn it in. And this person said, look, go to my tent and build a box with my leftovers, right? Or the ones with the slices they didn't turn in. Totally illegal. Don't do this.
Don't do that.
Yeah, right.
However, this was a 200 and plus team contest. The person that picked their perfect slices, put their perfect box together with that same brisket, they were like 100 and something place. The other person that went and got the scraps and built a box, first place freaking brisket. So it's the same exact brisket.
Wow.
In fact, it wasn't the best ones out of the litter there.
Damn.
And they turned it in. They got 100 and something. The other dude or chick. I'm trying to cloud here. First place.
That's
Freaking crazy, bro.
That's the table.
Yeah.
And that's what. Listen, we listen. We could do a whole podcast on just the table alone. What table do you get on? And it matters. It matters when you get on a table that were people that are not I'm not going to say qualified, but you get on a table where you got 4 people that have been drinking all day, and it's
Sure.
not like that. Like it still is a little bit.
Yeah,
But
it is.
yeah, it's all
Can
about
be.
the table. You get on the right table, and luck has something to do with every cook-off. The consistency and why you see the people that are always in the money is because they're so consistent. It doesn't matter what table they get on, and I think that's the part of barbecue that we have to look at. Is like you can't offend people. You can't. You've got to be almost a neutral barbecue. That's gonna be. It's a. You know what? It's a really good barbecue. That's what you're going for.
Yep. 100%. And
So
I guarantee, I would think, James, are the judges in Houston, are they drinking? Probably. At this point. I mean,
100%.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta cook really good food, hit your marks, and you gotta get triply freaking lucky in that
Mhm.
they land on the right tables, or you need 6, right? I don't know, Houston, I think it's 5, but you need all 5 to score it favorably, not
Yep.
not 4, and then have one asshole on the table that's just not feeling like barbecue that day, and they judge everybody terribly.
Yeah.
And it happens. You can
does.
you can look at the score sheet, judges score sheets, and all the table is in agreement except one person, and that knocks 12 boxes that are put in front of them. You just didn't want barbecue that day, and it happens. And that's why I say you got to get lucky. You don't want to be on that table. So
Yeah.
that's it, man. That's competition barbecue. It's crazy. It's a lot of fun. It is a great family sport. I mentioned kids earlier. My kids now grew up in the sport. My son is the inaugural Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo grand champion for their junior championship.
Hell yeah.
So good luck to all the kiddos that are doing it this year. It's a great family sport. You come out there. I met a lot of great people and really just friends now that are just dear friends, and through barbecue, and our kids know each other. They've grown up doing this thing. My kids are just they're kind of over the cooking thing right now. They want to get into some sports and stuff. So that's why we backed off on our own game cooking so much. But it's a great sport, man. It's a great thing to get into. It costs a lot of money. You guys know it's not a cheap hobby, but I don't think any hobbies are cheap,
No.
right?
No,
You
not
can
at all,
be
man.
you could be a big avid golfer, or a select ball team family, or
Jesus,
a
man.
boater or a
game.
traveler, whatever it may be, it all costs freaking money. This is just the monies that this is where our money goes.
That's right. Hey, Rob, listen, we appreciate you joining us.
Yep.
Coming in, man, dude. We wish you good luck next week out of Houston.
Yeah.
Hey, one more time, plug the team in booth where you're going to be at.
Yeah, well, this year is our third year to cook at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. We're cooking with the team called the Half Fast Cookers. My good friends Tuna and Todd. They asked me to cook 3 years ago. This is my third year. We got them on the stage. They'd never been on the stage. This is their 16th year, and up at that point, they had never been able to walk that stage, and we were able to get them on there that first year. So, hoping to get them back on the stage this year. It's we're ready to go. It's going to be a good time out there. And C915 is our space. Got Kevin Fowler playing Saturday night. They've got a great lineup of music. They've got this badass cover. I don't even want to call them a cover band, but that's what they do. They play covers, but they sound amazing. Each and every one of those musicians on the stage, they play different instruments, but they all sing and they sound just like the music. I'm looking forward. Unfortunately, that's Friday night, so I gotta chill on Friday to get ready for Saturday, our big day. But we've got 5 categories, so we're excited to go out there and lace them up again with all them other badass competitors out there. It's tough to win in Houston, and it's a premier event.
Well, hey,
we're rooting for you for sure.
No, 100%. And I will say, first and foremost, we're big fans. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, bud.
You
Thanks,
host
Corby.
You host the best barbecue show that's on social media. The social,
Thank you. Appreciate
it. Smoking Gooder Show.
Mm-hmm.
They can find you each week.
Yeah, I'll give a plug for that too, guys. So Smoking Gooder Show, we go live. We do this kind of setup right here, live each and every Wednesday night at 8:00 Central. This weekend is our annual Pitmaster party that we're gonna Pitmaster Social. We can't call it a party. Houston kind of gets upset when we say the word party because it's gonna be on a Wednesday night. It's a Pitmaster Social. We're gonna be at Half Fast. If you are out there cooking and Wednesday night at 8:00, we're going to go live from Half Fast Cookers booth C915. We're going to feed you. We got some, we got something on there for you guys, but we'll have a couple of options of beer and just come out and have some camaraderie with us. And it's a social, man. We're going to do a live show out there. So people, some people maybe you don't know, we're going to try and pull some people from all over the country that may be in Houston that night to come and do that show. But we got a video board, we got all kinds of stuff. But yeah, our show is So Smoking Gooder Show. If you're on YouTube, please like us on YouTube. I think we just hit 900 followers, so or subscribers. We need 100 more to be legit. So we need 100 more. So if you guys are out there, please look us up on YouTube. So Smoking Gooder Show, and give us a subscribe. That'd be awesome.
That's it.
And I'm going to be out there Wednesday, so I might just have to make a guest appearance.
Heck yeah. Come on.
Just see what it's all about and just get to meet everybody out there. So
yeah, invite anybody. Come on out Wednesday night, 8:00. Check it out. We're going to do the show live. It's going to be fun.
We appreciate it, Rob, man. Hey, you take care. And man,
thanks,
we're
guys.
with you. Wishing the best.
Always enjoy it. Yeah, hit me up anytime.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
All right. Y'all be good. See ya.
Later.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Rob's the best, man. He's got one hell of a show each week.
Everybody go check it out.
Yeah, everybody already checks it out, and we're fans.
I think he's first, and we're like the second ancillary.
Yeah, he definitely inspired us in kind of doing this. So I definitely have a lot to owe to him and his just the way he's so methodical in the way he speaks and just his content and everything else. So it's just badass.
Yeah,
coming on. So
you want to roll into what you grade this beer? I know we got a couple of minutes and we're gonna have to dip out, but we do have a barbecue win/fail coming up here in a second. This beer's pretty legit. 10% It's hitting in all the marks. It's very smooth, not bitter at all. I'm gonna have to probably rate this like a solid. I'm gonna go solid 9.0 on this one.
9-0.
9.0.
See, I'm in the
Very good.
nines, James, but I had a feeling you were gonna get so just so direct and it's like, oh, I'm just a flat 9-0. I'm an 8-0. I'm a no, it's a rookie ass score, and you know it, and I know it. This is a 9.6. This beer is phenomenal. It tastes great. It's not heavy. It's a very drinkable beer. I could do two of these and probably go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like this is a great beer. It's probably a limited run, most likely. But McLovin, check it out. Go to HEB. Go wherever you can find Martin House Brewery. But this is a hazy IPA, 10% alcohol by volume. This is a phenomenal beer.
And
Phenomenal
that
beer.
concludes grabbing the brisket.
Beer review. That's right. Hey, I do have a barbecue win and fell. We did get Travis Todd. Travis came up and said said he has a fell and a well a fail and a win at the same time. His first cooking two brisket at the same time. All he had was a Pit Boss Classic, which was too small for him to cook two briskets on. So his cousin gave him a vertical smoker. The vertical smoker was being a pain all night, was able to get the briskets to 180, which you're through the stall. If you're going to 180, you're through the stall
Yeah.
of the brisket. Um,
It's fighting a fire. I assume that's what he was talking
Yeah.
about being a pain.
it is, and because by the time all the others was at 195, ready to be wrapped, I put both in the vertical so he could smoke the ribs. Came back to the vertical, up in flames with grease.
Oh, geez.
Damn, that sucks, man. A little grease fire never hurt any barbecue. Said no one. Said no one was hurt, but I managed to pull the briskets out before it completely went up. Briskets came out good anyways, and all 20 people who tried it enjoyed it. They had the extra nice bark. He had that grease bark, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, it had an extra nice bark, and actually, it still had the nice smoke ring to it. A little more dry than I prefer, but I think it was just my cooking. Dude, Travis, you know what? That is a win, and it is a fail a little bit there. And I could see how just overcoming.
Well, I think it's a
that's the
fail.
win.
It's a fail on the buddy's part, right? I mean, he should have cleaned his smoker out,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
You can't loan your greasy ass like vertical smoker,
Yeah.
and potentially burn down your buddy's house.
But
You got to do better.
that's a win on your part. It's a fail on your buddy because what you were given obstacles and all you did was jump hurdles the entire time
Yeah.
to execute, and it came out good. It came out edible. It came out. What would you say? It's a little less dry, a
Little dry,
less, yeah,
little dry.
little dry. Hey, you know what? Maybe sometimes it's a cut of meat.
We'll take that win all day long.
Yeah, all day long. That's a barbecue
Yeah.
win. And right now, you know what you win? You win some, winner chicken dinner. Sucklebusters. Everybody wants some Sucklebusters. That's right. Go on to sucklebusters.com, find out some seasonings, pick it out. Let us know which one it is. We'll have it sent to you. Definitely appreciate you sharing. This is how we get better. This is how we get worse in life with not sharing. But yeah, so appreciate you. We're all trying to learn from everybody's mistakes. So thank you for sharing, man.
Yeah, I love it. And everybody competing out at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, dude. Hey, we're all rooting for you guys. Please give us a shout. Drop us a message on our DMs if you want to swing by the spot just to say hi. Maybe drink a beer. Maybe just hang out and socialize. Hey, we're good with that, guys. But we do wish you the best, and we're rooting for everybody out there. I mean, it's going to be a blast. Pace yourself. It's not a race. All right. It's a marathon. So hopefully everybody out there is safe and they I was gonna say protect themselves, but that
Yeah,
sounded
wear a
weird.
condom. Wear a condom, and you'll be fine. Hey, I wonder if we could do this. We take all the teams. We take all the teams out there, and we put squares on it, and then we start selling squares on who we think is going to win this cook-off.
Which
Uh,
is a big giant
who's-
Calcutta.
Hey, who's down for that? Who's down for a little football square Calcutta for the barbecue cook-off? Let us know because listen, we can actually do this in a couple of days, and I don't know, man. Maybe whatever we gather in, we share some money and then we send everything out to charity. I'm not sure
Yeah,
it's
send
a
it
good
all to
idea
the
or not.
kids.
I'm a kid, but no, I'm just kidding. But no, let us know if that's a good idea or not, because I feel like that could be that can kind of be a thing.
Man, so we'll close it off. Cheers, Jan. Hey,
Yep.
really good episode. I did see John jumped in there. He really
He
just
did.
had to put his role. I don't know why he just like let that
What did
up there.
John
Just like
say?
you should have just totally blocked that and deleted. Like I gotta get in there.
Who's John?
John Lathrop.
John?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
that
never heard
other
of him.
guy that comes in.
I never
Yeah.
heard of John.
Y'all really just let anybody on this show,
Oh,
I guess.
okay. Yeah,
I guess
John.
we do.
Yeah,
Hey, he's in sunny Mexico and he's watching.
Still
Hey,
thinking about
yeah.
that. Still thinking about this, man.
yeah.
John,
I
you need to
guess
get your
we do by allowing
priorities.
your comments in here. We do let everybody in here. Yeah. Hey, listen right here. The Smoke Ring Syndicate. The little changes turn into big changes if you aren't careful, and I totally agree with that. That's some knowledge bombs right now. That's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out. Hey, everybody. It's really been great talking barbecue with you.
Cheers.
As we close out, big thanks to SmokerBuilder.com and the MBBQA for their unwavering support.
Absolutely, and cheers to Barbecue News Magazine, SUCKLEBUSTERS, and Dow Strong Knives for their contributions.
And you know Yeti always has our back, and Coolie Nation ensures our drinks stay perfectly cold.
Lastly, props to Cambro Manufacturing and, of course, the Spicy Nut, the Chicks of Smoke Seasoning. Thanks to all for powering this show.
Until next time, keep smoking.